So, guys, give me 5 minutes, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly what happens when the conversations or difficult conversations begin and why most leaders misdiagnose the problem in the first place, right? So, I'm going to talk about that misdiagnosis. And once you understand this particular framework to difficult conversations, high stake conversations, you are going to feel more relaxed and eased into having this. It's not about feeling very good, but it's more about being able to execute. Okay. Um, so I'm Arnab and I'm work with founders and leaders and help them navigate high stakes conversations, especially in the moments when their emotions are spiking and when the clarity is disappearing. Right. So in this video, you'll get in every video that I make and I'll share. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a practical strategy, one practical strategy that you can go through this video and then apply it. All right. So the problem that a lot of people are facing and my clients is that they struggle in conflict because they think that they don't know what to say, right? Should I say this or how should I say that? Should I say this and in what way should I say that? So that's that's the main predominant thought, and you keep looping in that, right? So let's look at any kind of conversation. It's you're confronting a teammate or somebody is not performing well, or maybe there's some tension between you or another team member, between two members of your team, and something strange happens during this time, and you are basically you enter into this freeze mode, right? Or maybe you start rambling instead of telling the point directly. You create stories and beat around the bush, and later you kind of wonder, Ari, why didn't I say this thing clearly? Okay. So what's actually happening is that you're, and it happens with everyone, it's not about just you, that you're trying to prepare the scripts beforehand, you're trying to memorize these talking points, rehearsing the conversation, and or probably just delaying it or avoiding it till the time like you have to do it, right? That's actually called fawning, right? Thinking that the problem will go away and it actually never does. The reason that's not working is because when the conflict conversation is beginning, uh, your brain is not treating this as a, you may be treating it, you are thinking that it's a communication challenge, but your brain is thinking, oh shit, this is a threat challenge, right? I'm detecting a threat and I'm going into this fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. So, and this shuts down the part of the brain that is your prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain, the frontal part of your brain, and this is meant for reasoning and language, right? So when this threat happens, this thing, reasoning thing, shuts down, and all the preparation that you did, all the, okay, my talking points, this, that, all that is lost in the moment because you don't have access to this and everything is residing here. So so that's the reason why you are freezing and you're rambling around, beating around the bush. You know you need to say that, but you're just, because that's because the biology is overpowering you during that time in the meeting. The solution to this is that we have a 3-step process, and that is, first you need to regulate the response, right? We need to tell our biology that this is not a threat, and there are some simple in the moment methods to say that you're not in threat, and that is by just taking a simple pause, having a breath, looking, just becoming aware of how the breath is, how the body is, and then speaking slow, deliberately. Okay. When you're speaking slow, the body automatically recognizes or starts sending signals to the brain that you are not in a threat mode. You can bring the prefrontal cortex online. Okay. Okay. So that is the main. Now, the intention or what you're trying to get, instead of remembering so many talking points, which are very hard to do, you focus on just the outcome that you want from the conversation. Okay. That is, let's say you say you had prepared, there was a conflict between you, and you said that, okay, this, he'll say this, I'll say this, he'll say this, I'll say this. No, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is that you want to define in your mind, or the intention, whatever you call that, as this is the outcome I want. At the end of it, this is what I'm looking for. right? So I don't need to go through these 5 scripts to achieve that. Maybe in just 1 or 2, I can achieve that, and that's fine. Or maybe it won't happen. That's also a possibility. Point is not to make sure the outcome happens, but the point is to align your mind or brain in a way that your outcome happens. That the outcome is what I'm focusing on. All right. So, and when we are talking now, the third step is about bringing this clarity. So you want to speak it in 3 ways. You want to observe. Okay, I observed this, and the impact of that observation is this. So when you did this, this happened, and then a question: is this entire thing, can we solve it by a different way? Okay, so this keeps it grounded in facts and not getting too emotional up and down. Okay, so when you handle the conflict in this particular way, you're not trying to overpower the brain's threat response. Threat response is still happening to you. Okay, what you're doing is you're now acknowledging that and working side by side, right? And that helps you perform better under pressure. So that's what is allowing leaders to stay calm, clear, direct, even when the stakes are like getting really high. So if you want to handle high stakes conversations, leadership conversations at work, I've put together a resource, and that resource exactly breaks down the frameworks more in detail. So we went into the high levels right now, more into detail of how to navigate difficult conversations. It's called as the high stakes conversation advantage, and it walks you through the exact structure and preparation process, like before you enter, what you need to do instead of looking at the scripts. So you can enter this with these conversations with clarity, confidence, and instead of the scripts that fall apart, you have a repeatable process when the emotions are rising and you're focusing and is getting too narrowed and you're losing access to your prefrontal cortex. All right. So DM or download that the resource, and I'll see you in the next video.